What if there's a place so deep the earth itself seems to refuse to end it? A place where sound vanishes, animals flee, and nothing you throw in ever comes back out? And what if someone lowered a camera inside, and the footage didn't just terrify them, it terrified the world? This is not a creepypasta. This isn't just another internet hoax. This is the story of Mel's Hole, the pit the US government denies exists, but can't seem to stop guarding. And if what the latest expedition saw is real, it means the hole isn't just deep. It's alive. The story began in 1997 with a simple late-night phone call. The show was Coast to Coast AM, a magnet for the strange and the unbelievable. Millions of insomniacs were listening when a man named Mel Waters called in. He said he owned land near Ellensburg, Washington. And on it was a hole that broke the rules of the natural world. He wasn't trying to sell a book or make a movie. He just wanted someone to hear what he'd seen. Mel had been lowering fishing line into it, spool after spool. Not feet, not hundreds of feet, miles. Over 15 miles of line, and still nothing at the end. No thud, no splash, no resistance, just an endless descent into blackness. At first, it sounded like a tall tale. But Mel added details that made even skeptics pause. Dogs refused to approach it. The air around it felt thicker, like the ground was holding its breath. Locals had been dumping old appliances, garbage, even dead animals into it for decades, and nothing made a sound on the way down. No echoes, no impact, just swallowed like a black hole. Then came the Native American stories, generations old. They warned the land was not right, a threshold to somewhere humans were never meant to enter. They didn't call it haunted. They called it dangerous. Not because of spirits, because it wasn't part of this world. Before the internet latched onto it, before TikTok urban explorers, locals had already tried their own tests. Dropping weighted lines, timing free falls. But no one ever reached a bottom. Everyone came back with the same feeling, that something under their feet was watching. For a while, the story faded. Then came the GPS leak. A cluster of coordinates near Manistash Ridge, Washington. On satellite maps, it looked like nothing until people zoomed in and saw a perfect circle in the forest, completely bare of trees, grass, or paths. And then it blurred out. Just like classified military sites. That's when the internet erupted. TikTok hikers posted videos in the misty Washington woods. Reddit threads tracked land purchases in the area, many by government fronts. Drone pilots planned expeditions. The question was no longer if the hole existed, but what was inside. In 2023, one team decided to find out. Not with rumors, not with fishing line, with technology. They arrived before sunrise with a rig that looked like something out of a military lab. A carbon fiber winch system holding a custom submersible drone fitted with a 4K low-light camera, thermal sensors, infrared imaging, and environmental meters capable of withstanding crushing depths. The cable was military-grade, heat-resistant, interference-shielded. They tested every component twice. Because if the signal was lost, there'd be no second chance. The winch released. For the first 100 feet, the walls looked impossibly smooth, like they'd been machined. No roots. No moss. No marks from water. The sound feed picked up nothing. Not nothing, like a quiet cave. Then came the first anomaly. At 300 feet, the temperature plunged, not slowly, but in a sudden drop of 40 degrees. Sensors flashed warnings. They were reading temperatures found in Antarctic ice shelves, yet there was no frost on the cable. The air was bone dry. At 340 feet, a faint glow pulsed deep below, dim, rhythmic, like the slow breath of something sleeping. The drone adjusted focus. No object in sight. The light was coming from nowhere, or everywhere. By 400 feet, the glow returned stronger now, and the magnetic sensors spiked. The compass twisted. The drone drifted sideways. Even though the cable was taut and still, space itself seemed to stretch. Then at 580 feet, everything stopped. A shape appeared in the frame, tall, thin, darker than the dark behind it. It didn't move, didn't approach, it was simply there. Watching, the feed went black. The winch reeled the cable back in. Clean break, as if the cable had passed through a blade of nothing. Back at base, the team pored over the recovered footage. They slowed every frame. Enhanced shadows. Filtered audio. That's when the real nightmare began. The temperature drop didn't match any known geothermal pattern. Infrared imaging showed patches of suspended energy, like pockets of heat floating in the air. The flickers of light matched no natural flicker rate, but the intervals matched a human heartbeat. And the audio? A low hum that broke into bursts, bursts that, when run through a spectrogram, resembled the shape of speech. Not language as we know it, but something structured. And in one slowed frame, just before the feed died, 2 faint points of light reflected back at the camera. The video leaked, not to mainstream news, but to private forums. Then Reddit, then TikTok. And every time it spread, accounts went dark. Entire channels disappeared without a strike. Some claimed their hard drives wiped themselves overnight. Others got takedown notices from agencies with no contact info. Still, the clip survived. Re-uploaded under names like the Sentinel of Mel's Hole. Some said it was a dimensional tear, a place where space folds in on itself and the bottom is a sideways exit into somewhere else. Others called it a vault, built not to keep us out, but to keep something in. Then came the strangest theory of all, that the hole wasn't a hole at all. It was a structure, a machine. And the shape they saw wasn't trapped. It was part of the mechanism. After the leak, the Manastash Ridge site was fenced off. Hikers reported black SUVs with tinted windows, unmarked trucks with antennas, men with radios patrolling the tree line. Satellite imagery blurred the circle again. And the team? They vanished from the internet. No new posts. Phones disconnected. It was as if they'd never existed. Mel Waters never resurfaced either. Not after 2002, when he spoke of memory gaps, surgical scars, and a second hole in the Nevada desert. One he said was worse. Before he vanished again, he hinted there was a third, not in the US, and connected to something ancient. A network, a grid. And if one woke up, the others might too. Today, the video lives only in fragments, compressed, degraded, its details argued over in comment sections and Discord servers. Skeptics call it a hoax. Believers call it a warning. And the rest of us are left with one question. What if Mel's hole was never about how deep it went? What if the real danger is what can climb out? If this story gave you chills, like, share, and subscribe, because the next time we look inside, we might not like what blinks back.